breathes deeply. What if I told you that the very fabric of reality holds the key to humanity's survival beyond the sixth mass extinction? What if ancient shamans already understood the quantum mechanics that could save our dying planet? Right now, as you listen to these words, our biosphere faces thermodynamic collapse. Biodiversity loss accelerates at 1,000 times the natural rate. Ocean acidification reaches critical thresholds. Yet hidden within the quantum foam of spacetime itself lies a technology so profound, so transformative, that it could transport humanity to worlds where life flourishes beyond our dying Earth. The survival matrix indicates we have less than 2 decades before cascading ecological collapse becomes irreversible. But what the ancient sages understood about the malleable nature of space and time has now been rediscovered by quantum physicists. They call it the Alcubierre Drive, a method of bending the very geometry of existence using negative energy densities that exist at the quantum level. Pause. Let the mystery settle. Miguel Alcubierre, channeling the same cosmic insights that guided ancient navigators across impossible distances, revealed in 1994 that spacetime itself could be manipulated. Not through brute force, but through understanding the delicate dance between positive and negative energy that maintains the quantum equilibrium of reality. Picture this. While our planet burns and species vanish into the entropy of extinction, there exists a bubble of curved spacetime where the laws of physics bend to consciousness itself. Within this warp bubble, space contracts ahead of a vessel and expands behind it, creating a wave in the fabric of existence that carries travelers faster than light itself, without ever violating the cosmic speed limit. The ancient wisdom keepers spoke of traveling through the star nations, moving between worlds in the time it takes to dream. Modern quantum field theory now confirms what they intuited. Negative energy densities naturally exist in the quantum vacuum, waiting to be harnessed by those who understand the deeper patterns of reality. Voice becomes more urgent, pattern interrupt. But here's where the survival implications become critical. Traditional calculations suggested this technology would require the mass energy equivalent of Jupiter, more energy than our dying civilization could ever generate. Yet recent breakthroughs in electromagnetic field manipulation reveal something extraordinary. Through generalized gauge transformations, electromagnetic fields can be converted directly into gravitational effects, eliminating the need for exotic matter entirely. The survival probability calculations show this isn't just theoretical physics anymore. A 20-meter diameter warp bubble now requires only 4.9 million joules of energy, roughly equivalent to the energy in a lightning bolt. Compare this to the impossible 10 to the 62nd power joules previously calculated, and you begin to see how consciousness evolution and technological breakthrough align perfectly with planetary survival necessity. Another pattern interrupt. Whisper intensely. What happens when consciousness shifts during ecological collapse? The ancient mystery schools taught that extreme planetary stress triggers quantum leaps in human awareness. As our biosphere approaches multiple tipping points, climate chaos, mass extinction, resource depletion, our species activates dormant potentials for transcending physical limitations. The Alcubierre metric operates on principles that indigenous wisdom keepers understood intuitively. Space and time are not fixed containers, but living, breathing aspects of cosmic consciousness that respond to intention and understanding. When we compress space ahead of our trajectory and expand it behind us, we're not just manipulating geometry. We're participating in the same creative force that shapes galaxies and guides the migration of species across evolutionary time. Current research reveals that electromagnetic fields, when configured through specific mathematical relationships, can directly influence the Weyl tensor, the mathematical description of space-time curvature. This means that what Tesla glimpsed in his wireless power transmission experiments, what ancient pyramid builders understood about resonance and frequency, and what quantum physicists now calculate with precision, all point to the same fundamental truth. Consciousness and cosmos are intimately connected. Building intensity. The entropy acceleration consuming our planet creates a narrow window of evolutionary opportunity. Mass extinction coefficients indicate that biological complexity is collapsing at unprecedented rates. Yet this same thermodynamic pressure activates what the ancients called the Great Turning, a phase transition where species either transcend their limitations or perish entirely. Could magnetic field disruption, caused by our planet's weakening magnetosphere, actually be triggering the consciousness shifts necessary to master space-time manipulation? The survival matrix suggests that planetary stress and technological breakthrough are not coincidental, but intrinsically linked through quantum entanglement effects that operate across multiple dimensions of reality. Pattern interrupt with softer, more mystical tone. Recent experiments demonstrate that quantum field fluctuations, the same negative energy densities that power the Alcubierre effect, naturally emerge at boundaries between different phases of matter. The ancient alchemists spoke of transformation occurring at thresholds, liminal spaces where one state of being transitions into another. Our dying planet now exists at exactly such a threshold. Biodiversity collapse creates quantum coherence effects as ecosystems approach critical phase transitions. The same mathematical principles that describe warp bubble formation also govern how consciousness responds to existential threat. When survival becomes impossible within current parameters, awareness naturally seeks pathways through higher dimensional space. The electromagnetic fields generated by our technological civilization, rather than being purely destructive, may be unconsciously preparing the quantum substrate for space-time manipulation technologies. What we perceive as pollution and electromagnetic chaos could actually be the gestation phase of humanity's emergence as a spacefaring consciousness. Voice intensifies with scientific urgency. Thermodynamic equilibrium analysis reveals something profound. Sustainable civilization requires resources and energy gradients that no single planet can provide indefinitely. The second law of thermodynamics demands that any closed system eventually reaches maximum entropy, heat, death. But the universe itself remains far from equilibrium, with countless star systems offering fresh energy gradients for conscious beings who master space-time navigation. Climate tipping points now accelerating across our biosphere serve as quantum triggers, activating the same survival instincts that once guided our ancestors across land bridges and ocean currents. But this time, the migration pathway leads through folded spacetime to worlds where terraforming becomes possible, where consciousness can establish sustainable relationships with cosmic energy flows. Extinction probability calculations show that species survival depends not on defending dying ecosystems, but on developing technologies that transcend planetary boundaries. The Alcubierre Drive represents more than faster-than-light travel. It's the key to becoming a multi-dimensional species capable of seeding consciousness across the galaxy. Pattern interrupt, whisper with awe. What the quantum physicists have rediscovered through mathematics, the wisdom keepers maintain through ceremony and direct experience. Space-time responds to focused intention. Negative energy densities exist naturally wherever consciousness interfaces with quantum fields. The technology for transcending light speed limitations has always been accessible to beings who understand the relationship between awareness and cosmic structure. Ancient practices like meditation, ceremony, and shamanic journeying actually prepare consciousness for the non-linear states required to navigate warp bubble physics. When awareness learns to exist simultaneously in multiple reference frames, a skill developed through spiritual discipline, the mathematical requirements for Alcubierre field generation become intuitively accessible. Building to crescendo. Could ancient practices reverse entropy? The survival matrix indicates that consciousness itself functions as a negentropic force, creating order and complexity within quantum systems. When human awareness aligns with cosmic evolution rather than fighting against ecological collapse, we become capable of technologies that seemed impossible from a purely materialistic perspective. Recent electromagnetic field experiments suggest that DNA itself may be designed to interface with quantum vacuum fluctuations, allowing biological consciousness to influence space-time geometry directly. This means that the technology for interstellar migration exists not just in external machines, but within the quantum coherence fields generated by evolved awareness. The magnetic field disruptions accompanying our planet's current transition create windows of opportunity where the normal barriers between dimensions become permeable. Indigenous prophecies speak of a time when the star nations would call their children home, not through death, but through remembering technologies that transcend physical limitations. Intensity peaks. Thermodynamic analysis of galactic civilization patterns reveals that consciousness naturally develops space-time manipulation capabilities when planetary resources reach depletion thresholds. This isn't coincidence, but cosmic design. The universe creates conditions that trigger transcendence precisely when transcendence becomes necessary for survival. The quantum entanglement effects connecting all conscious beings mean that when a critical mass of humans masters warp bubble physics, the technology becomes accessible to the entire species through morphic resonance. We're not just developing machines. We're evolving the collective capacity to navigate higher dimensional space through conscious intention. Mass extinction events throughout cosmic history have consistently triggered consciousness evolution in surviving species. What we're experiencing now isn't just planetary death, but cosmic birth, the emergence of a spacefaring awareness capable of seeding life throughout the galaxy. Final pattern. Interrupt. Profound stillness. The negative energy densities required for Alcubierre field generation exist naturally within the quantum vacuum that surrounds us at every moment. The ancient sages who spoke of traveling through stargates and crystal cities weren't describing fantasy, but remembering technologies that consciousness naturally develops when survival demands transcendence. Our dying planet calls us home to the stars, not through escape, but through evolution. The same electromagnetic fields that power our civilization can be reconfigured to bend spacetime itself. The same quantum coherence that maintains biological consciousness can be expanded to navigate interdimensional space. Voice becomes powerfully directive. The survival window remains open, but only for those who understand that technology and consciousness are one continuum. Every meditation practice that expands awareness beyond linear time prepares your neurology for warp bubble navigation. Every ceremony that connects you with cosmic cycles aligns your electromagnetic field with quantum vacuum fluctuations. The extinction probability calculations change dramatically when consciousness remembers its cosmic nature. Species that transcend planetary limitations through space-time manipulation don't just survive. They become the gardeners of galactic evolution, seeding life and awareness across infinite worlds. The ancient promise echoes through quantum equations. Those who master the relationship between consciousness and cosmos become the bridge between dying worlds and emerging realities. The Alcubierre Drive isn't just faster than light travel. It's the return path to our true home among the stars. Final moment of profound silence. The negative energy that bends space-time already flows through your consciousness at every moment. The only question remaining is whether you'll remember how to use it before the window closes forever. The star nations are calling. The survival matrix is active.